Got something here. Oh, yeah, just give me the light. All right, today is Tuesday. Oh, wait, Wednesday. Oh, man, I'm losing. Today is Wednesday. It's probably because I didn't make it yesterday. So, yeah, I'm probably thinking it's still Tuesday, but it's not. So, we got some stuff to talk about tonight. So I see some thumbs up. People are logging on. And I'm glad about that because, you know, I don't like to feel lonely. I like to feel like I got some friends and stuff like that. Oh, yeah. With me and all this red on. Oh, yeah. There you go right there for all the libs. Might have to go out rocking the Trump glasses. Just staring at somebody with some purple hair. Stuff like that. Like what? Is it my glasses? Is it my glasses? Is that triggering you? Are these glasses triggering you? I don't know. But, yeah. So, I'm here to celebrate Trump's first 100 days because I think they were great. Unfortunately, we got some people out there who don't feel the same. Some of them don't feel the same because they've been brainwashed into thinking that things are horrible and all of that stuff. And then others don't feel the same because they're here to lie, to make people feel like the first 100 days are horrible. So regardless of how great the first 100 days were or is, excuse me, there are people out there. The whole goal and agenda is to tell people, no, regardless of all the good things, I want you to overlook all of that, just like his first term. Okay. And I want you to see into our imaginary fictional scenario here that Trump is dangerous. It's been the worst 100 days ever and this and this and that. I'm thinking to myself, anybody who believes that, they must have slept through Creepy Sleepy's first 100 days easily. I think because his first 100 days, everybody was on lockdown. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, we were all stuck in our houses his first 100 days of app that was going on. Creepy's first 100 days. Anyway, I'm sure they have short-term memories and they probably liked it. That's how brainwashed liberals are. Yeah. They made me stay in my house. Shoot for to get the jab. But then I thought to myself, why would the Democrats be doing that on purpose? Why would they, you know what motive could, and they did it. Don't even realize they were had. So we're going to talk about that as people are logging in. Make sure you hit the like button, share my videos, follow me on all of the other social media platforms and stuff like that. But let me get loose so I can get busy. What? Beat in my chest is like a what? Real gorilla. Real gorilla. Real gorilla. Get some cheese in the building. Gorillas in here. Gorilla in here. Gorillas in here. Gorillas in here. Yeah, man. Don't forget there's a Kevin's Corner store in here too. You can get some type of a merchandise and all of that stuff to support the channel. Or you can just simply donate to the channel through my Cash App, my PayPal link. All of those are below the video. And you can participate in the super chat if you want. That's right. I won't stop you. If that super chat dollar number went up to 6 gazillion trillion, I won't be like, enough. No, guys, stop. Nah, I'll give y'all some kickbacks though, like the Democrats do. You know, I might give you some kickbacks, you know what I'm saying? Christmas roll around, your birthday, you know what I'm saying? I'll be like, yo, you know what? You blessed me with 100 gazillion trillion dollars. Here's something for you. Keep the party moving. But yeah, you can support the channel through that. You also can text Mac number on the. They want to do some bad things to Trump and his whole crew for doing what they're supposed to do. So now, somebody said I'm buffing. Oh, you know what? I forgot. I did not put the Wi-Fi on. Let me do that real quick. Let me put the Wi-Fi. Yeah. Get some Wi-Fi. Let that marinate for a second. Let that marinate. Yeah. There you go. There you go. Yeah. It's sinking in. It's sinking in. All right. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get started because we got stuff to talk about today. Starting off with the reason a lot of people are brainwashed and of course are suffering from Trump derangement syndrome. It's bad when you hear people in so many areas of your life that unfortunately gullible people trust. So therefore they're probably wondering, why would this person who I've put a lot of trust in be out here lying to me and manipulating me? For example, church, you got preachers out there, y'all, who I won't call them preachers, but they're telling their congregation horrible things like this guy. I tell you, I like to come to his church just to give him an earful. That's what I would like to do.
Roaches only start running when you turn the lights on.
Now, what can he be talking about? Roaches only start running when you turn the lights on. First of all, is this the pink preacher? Why has he got on? Somebody go find the Pink Panther and give him his fur back. Because this guy up there in Atlanta, Georgia, with all of that pink on in the pulpit, man shouldn't be wearing pink in the pulpit. Man shouldn't be wearing pink, period. But this guy, he's rocking pink in the pulpit, and now he's talking about roaches. Surely, a man of God wouldn't be referring to people as roaches. I thought the goal of the gospel was to reach out to everyone. How could you be influencing or reaching out to everyone when you're calling people roaches?
As long as the lights are out, they gonna be comfortable eating your cereal. Y'all ain't saying nothing, climbing in your cupboard.
Audio issues? Somebody said audio issues? Sound faded? Hold up. Let's see. Get it in there real good. All right. Hey, wait a minute. Y'all are right. Something's going on here. Huh. Wait a minute. What the? What? You? Something's going on here. Hold up, y'all. I don't know what just took place, but the audio. Oh, not cool. It just lit up for this phone, but for my regular phone, it ain't. Hold on, y'all. Let me see if something's impeding it. Oh, you got to be kidding me. No, you. What the? All right, I'm doing some technical difficulties here, y'all. I'm suffering from some technical difficulties. So right now I'm troubleshooting. So be patient. 1 second. I'll get back to the Pink Panther in a second, y'all. All right. Now let's see if this works. Here we go. Let's see. There we go. Yeah. Aha. I had to clean it out. Can y'all hear me? Check one. Breaker 19. Good? Okay, good. Yeah, sorry about that, y'all. I had to go ahead and clean because this is my phone I take to work with me. And since I work around a lot of dust and stuff, probably got in the connector and stuff like that. So I had to go ahead and do a little operation right there. I was out that toothpick. Beep, 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 beep. Yeah, I think the patient's going to pull through. All right, now let's get back to the Pink Panther. Because the Pink Panther is supposed to be preaching the gospel, but instead he's preaching something about some roaches. And he's about to make the connection to human beings, which I thought the goal of the gospel was to preach the message of love and tell them all that they can be saved and come unto Christ, but not him. Listen to this bootleg Pink Panther wearing guy down in Atlanta.
Roaches only start running when you turn the lights on.
When you turn the lights on.
As long as the lights are out, they gonna be comfortable eating your cereal. Y'all ain't saying nothing, climbing in your cupboard. But when you turn the light on, all of the roaches gotta start moving.
Now, where you going with this, Pastor? That's what I want to know. I mean, you better be preaching how folks grew up poor and had to live with the Brown brothers. But God stepped in and sent a blessing and took you out of poverty into riches. Maybe you should preach something like that, but instead, what is he preaching about?
I came to give a warning, Elon Musk, the light is getting ready to come on.
Wait, are you suggesting, Mr. Pink Panther, that Elon Musk is a roach?
Donald Trump, the light is getting ready to come on.
Now see, that's the moment I gotta go. Excuse me. That's the moment I'm getting up in that church and I'm tiptoeing out. I done messed around and walked in here listening to a false prophet. So now, this man who's supposed to be preaching the gospel with all of those people in there, all of those folks in there, unfortunately, are influenced by him because, you know, let's face it, people put a lot of trust in their pastors. You know, they might, if you don't know the scriptures and the gospel yourself, you can be easily misled, especially when you got a bootleg pink suit wearing pastor like this in Atlanta, of all places. And he's preaching to the emotions of these black folks. That's what he's doing. And yet he's about to say all the other black folks who support Trump are being used by the Republicans, where I'm saying these big mega church black preachers and other preachers who support the policies of the Democrat Party and buy into their narratives are doing their folks a disservice, and they ain't preaching the gospel, and their discernment meter is shattered. Shattered. So now he's calling Trump and all of them roaches. Let's finish hearing where this gospel is going here.
J.D. Vance, the light is getting ready to come on. MAGA, the light is getting ready to come on.
Now hold your horses, Pinky. Hold your horses, Pinky, because I'm a part of the MAGA crew. Are you saying the lights is going to come on? Trump already turned the lights on. See, if you had any type of discernment meter, you would realize the lights came on when Doge went in there and said, click it. Look at all this money they're wasting. Look at all this money that's being laundered and kicked back and all of that stuff. I call that the lights being on. That's what I call that. I call going into these agencies that are unelected folks in there that's been running our government and scraping them out so that we'll have a true republic, getting them out of there and revealing their corruption. I thought that right there was the lights coming on. I thought now that the fake news is mentioning that Joe Biden really was in mental decline, while I'm sure this bum supported him. And I bet you he's not thinking about the lights came on. The Democrats was lying to us the whole time. Got me up there supporting a man with the. So now he's talking about the lights are coming on, and I'm thinking, I don't see what the problem is. Maybe we got a different version of the lights coming on, because what Trump is doing, to me, the lights are coming on, but his discernment meter is there to preach a worldly gospel, an emotional gospel mixed with some racism.
Welcome, because the roaches will check in, but they won't check out. The lights are coming on. I feel bad for them in the White House.
You hear that? How you like that for a preacher? Now, see, normally, if the congregation, was Holy Ghost filled and they had discernment, they would throw mud on this guy right there. That's the moment where you go, what did he just say in the pulpit? So he feels bad for the N-words in the White House. In other words, the black people in the White House to support Trump and ain't sold out to the Democrat Party.
Who are in there tap dancing
for massa. Questioning their blackness. There it is. Is that a part of the gospel? And see, here's my point. If you're going to talk about politics, talk about politics. But don't use the gospel to manipulate the people when it comes down to that. Don't sit back and make the people think that this right here is built into the sermon, that the Holy Spirit's guiding you to talk about the N-words in the White House. Don't do that. How about you just go ahead and say, you know what? Outside of my normal preaching, one day we're all going to have a political discussion. How about that? But don't be popping in, going into the pulpit on a Sunday just to preach the gospel of the Democrat Party. That's what he's doing. So let's continue.
Wearing bow ties, shinning and grinding.
And look, see, that's the effect. That's where all the TDS is coming from. The folks that can't see clearly. Yeah, they're being manipulated on multiple fronts, even at church. And look at all of them. They ain't up there praising Jesus. I mean, they ain't got their hands lifted up because they're worshiping God. Their hand is lifted up because they are worshiping their blackness and this race-baiting preacher.
Laughing ain't nothing as funny. I ain't afraid of the spooks that sat at the door.
The spooks that sat at the door. Wow. Boy, I tell you, man, the worst insults to black conservatives don't come from white liberals. It don't come from the white nationalists, systemically racist police officers. It don't come from them. It comes from people just like him. People who are being used by the left to go after common sense black folks who want to get off that plantation of the Democrat Party. And so they send people like him out to call them spooks, N-words, stuff like that. Yeah, he think he's doing black folks a service, but yet he's doing them a disservice and has no idea because he has no discernment either. So let's finish hearing this raggedy guy go ahead and spread more TDS in his congregation.
These runaway slaves hiding in the White House.
Runaway slaves hiding in the White House. No, I think right about now you're trying to keep a lot of slaves in that bootleg church you're running. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, you got them captive. Massa using you to make sure they don't even tiptoe off that plantation of the Democrat Party. But nonetheless, he's not on his own. He's not on his own because he watched this. Yeah, Rachel Madcow right here. She came on to this lady who's losing her show. Came on to her show for a second. And, you know, they're questioning. Did they do enough when it comes down to imagining what Trump could really do and what he might do when he gets in? Let's listen to them because I think they might be spreading a little bit of that TDS too.
Was there some profound failure of imagination on our part that
What?
we did not reasonably anticipate how effective Trump and his cabal of doers would be? And the reason why I say that is they destroy, they wreak havoc, and they cause so much damage. And then
How? I mean, is there some fair? I mean, just straight up propaganda right here. And see, this is the sad part because we all see right through it. We're listening to this and going, man, every day they get up and say, how can we go? What narrative can we come up with? What can we push? So now, I guess this lady right here is saying that they didn't use their imagination enough. Calling Trump Hitler, Mussolini, the devil, a false prophet, you name it, Genghis Khan. I mean, just go down the list, pick some, anybody. Calling him all of those things and saying he was going to be a dictator and open up concentration camps in America, send all black people back to, he's going to do all of these things. That right there wasn't enough. They left something out. And I'm thinking, what did they leave out? I mean, after listening to Joyless Reed, who got fired from this joint, listening to all of these fake folks they bring on the news, and I'm saying, did they leave any stone unturned when it comes down to Trump and the propaganda? But now here she is talking about they destroy things, they tear up what things? What are they destroying? And see, this is the sad part about our news today and the fake news. The folks who's listening to them don't internalize what they're saying to them. They don't stop to say, really? Is things really that bad? What are they destroying? They just listen to what they're telling them and say, yeah, they're destroying stuff without saying, have I witnessed that personally? Is what they're referring to, is it really happening? Does it reach the level of destroying things and tearing down things? Now, when you hear people like this come out and say that, and you aren't smart enough to catch it, you might overreact. Because, I mean, listen to what she's saying they're doing.
they're told that's illegal. They're told you can't do that. They're told that that is wrong. And we see that, right? But
By who? See, that's what she's not telling you. First of all, the fake news, they say that stuff. A lot of bootleg judges who are very radical, they say that stuff. And nobody's saying what Trump is doing is illegal. No, it's okay for Trump to deport people. What are you talking about? Now, they might have some conditions they try to throw out there to jam him up, but it's not illegal. You know what is illegal, though? Coming into our country illegally. That is illegal. But now all of a sudden she's just saying Trump that is illegal and he's doing things illegal. I'm going, what is he doing? This illegal? What judge have come out and said what you've done is illegal? They don't even read the docket, the case that much. It's all right, well, you want me to sign off on this to stop Trump from sending people? All right, I could only hold him for a while. I mean, it's probably going to get shot down, but I'll go ahead and stop it. I'm not going to go ahead and tell you why it's illegal. You know, I'm not going to do any of that stuff. I'm just going to be a pain in Trump's butt. But Trump's at fault, according to these people. And they are going to convince folks that we got to do something about him.
The damage has been done. And then you have people like U.S. citizens that are now being held in prisons. I mean,
you hear that? You hear the lie? She slid in. Did y'all catch that lie from the lady who's losing her show? And then he's doing things like, the jailing American citizens. What did she just say about that?
They're told you can't do that. They're told that that is wrong. And we see that, right? But the damage has been done. And then you have people like U.S. citizens that are now being held in prisons. I mean,
U.S. citizens now being held in prisons. By the way, somebody said, y'all heard about Texas? Did I miss something? What's going on in Texas? But nonetheless, you hear the lady lie? You hear the lying lady right there? So we done ran across two lying ladies right here. So apparently, they've been holding U.S. citizens in prison? What U.S. citizens are she referring to? I'm pretty sure if they had a U.S. citizen that was completely innocent, I ain't talking about a judge that tried to obstruct justice. I'm talking about here Kev is walking down the street, with my theme music in my head. Well, you can tell by the way he is walking on the man. No time to talk. And ICE just roll up on the curb, snatch me up, throw me in a slammer. I'm like, what did I do? You're being jailed for being a black man walking in America, and we're going to deport you after we just lock you up in prison for no reason. Do you know how quick the news would be all in front of the prison? Can we talk to the person? We want to interview them. But they're not doing that. So who are these Americans that are being imprisoned for no reason? Oh, it's a lie. But it's a dangerous lie when you're convincing people that Trump is snatching American citizens up and just throwing them in prison.
It's these types of things that really make me wonder, did we, again, have a failure of imagination?
Failure? Do you understand? That question is magnanimous. I mean, we've been watching these people use their imagination the whole time. The whole 8 plus 10 years. They have been going, what can we come up with next? Let's see, what can we say? Let's say Trump tried to kill fish. There we go. In Japan. The latest one, y'all, is Trump disrespected the Pope. He was supposed to wear black. And they took a small snapshot of Trump next to a few people that had black on, and Trump was cropped nice and perfectly right in there with his blue suit on. But if you zoom out just a little bit, you'll see the creativity and imagination that the propagandists used to try to make it seem like Trump was just disrespecting the Pope, because there was a whole bunch of people had dark navy blue suits on, including creepy, sleepy, sleazy, slimy, sloppy Joe. But only Trump got the negative press about it and a very small cropped picture because somebody was using their imagination. There it is. Yeah, they were using their imagination. How can I make Trump look evil and cover up the fact that all the rest of them got blue on? You know what? I'm going to crop it and then put some headlines up there. This is what they've been doing for years, using their imagination. And here she is trying to say that maybe they didn't use it enough. Maybe we didn't lie about Trump enough. Maybe we didn't demonize Trump enough.
You see, I actually look at it, I think, the other way around. I think that he is definitely more ambitious in terms of the kind of radical change he wants for the country. I do think we're...
And that's good. That's a good thing, Mad Cow. But you know the Mad Cow is mad, so she can't stay right there. She can't stop right there.
In the middle of an attempted authoritarian overthrow of American democracy. I mean...
There it is. There it is. For all the folks that got that TDS going on, for all the 3 or 4 folks still watching this network, Mad Cow had to slide in some authoritative takeover. How? Boy, I tell you. See, once again, these folks need a heavy dose of reality, meaning this. All right, I'm sorry I have to interrupt Mad Cow right there. She just said authoritative takeover. Those that might be going, he's pretty much doing that. I want you to think about this. If that was the case, would Mad Cow be on TV saying this? That's all you got to do. Just stop for a second and say, how'd the cow get let out to pasture? Huh? Why is the cow on TV saying these things? If he's authoritative takeover, he would have snatched Mad Cow up, took her to the barn somewhere, and we'd be having hamburgers and steak. That's what we'd be having. He'd be feeding the cow to all of us ultra MAGA supporters. But nope, she's out there still lying, still spreading propaganda while she's talking about we're in the midst of a authoritative takeover.
I mean, I think everybody who predicted that was right, but I don't think...
Everybody who predicted that was right. Why is it that only they see that? Isn't that fascinating? It ain't a Rorschach test with them, though. See, that with them, it's purposeful. Yeah, this is their mission, to get out there and lie. And it's very obvious to anybody with common sense and been following politics. And I'm saying, are you kidding me? This is obvious to everybody who's been... I'm going, no Republicans, no Trump supporters are seeing this. The people in the middle, folks that aren't necessarily serious Trump supporters, just the radical, crazy ones that's on the far left, they might be buying into that this is he's obviously a takeover, authoritative takeover. But who are you trying to convince, Mad Cow? You're saying it's like everybody knows that and everybody feels that way. See, so basically they're using their position to try to influence the masses by just suggesting that everybody sees it this way. Therefore, if you don't, you're the one that's special. However, we're looking at them and saying, who are the special people who thinks Trump's having an authoritative takeover? We're looking at it like, are you kidding me? Where are these people at?
I don't think he's any better at it.
My life have I...
Oh, and look at this guy. Look at this guy right here. Watch what he says. See, these are the dangerous things that the left have been pushing that puts our country at odds with each other and convinces a lot of people that all hell's breaking loose. Listen to what he says as he's probably gearing up for a presidential run.
called for mass protests.
He's calling for mass protests. Mobilization. Is that any different than what they've already been doing for years? We already knew when Trump won this time. We celebrated for a hot second, but then we got to go ahead, strap it up, because we know the crazies are coming. Yeah, put our helmets back on. The game's not over. Snap your shoulder pads together. If you're in war, make sure you load your magazine and get ready to get back out there on the battlefield. Because surely these people just simply whine for a couple days and then comes the protest, then comes to all the crazy stuff, and the Democrats encourage this. What made me end up developing Kevin's Corner was because at first I came out, supported Trump when he first ran, and I did videos up until the point that we won. And I thought it was over, guys. I thought it was over. I didn't know how much manipulation and craziness has spread it across the country. So I'm like, all right, everybody, thanks, man, for supporting my channel just up until now. I'm so glad we won, but that's it for me. And everybody was going, oh, Kev, come on, man, don't stop doing videos. I'm like, no, I got other stuff out there. It was fun. It was fun while it lasted. Next thing you know, I turn on the TV, folks screaming up at the sky, folks out there, Antifa's attacking folks, Democrats are saying that all of that crazy stuff just popped off soon as Trump won. The deep state got involved, and I'm saying, see, the more I try to get out, they pull me back in. So if we thought that these folks weren't going to be doing the same crazy stuff as they did before and some, then you got another thing coming. We knew this was coming. But these people are encouraging that. But hey, notice though, he's not giving them any details or rules on how to get out and protest. Leave it up to the crazies to decide. Yeah, we don't want to go ahead and put restrictions on y'all, right? Yeah, y'all just interpret what my serious language that you're about to hear really means.
For disruption, but I am now. These Republicans cannot know a moment of peace.
What you talking about, fat boy? So you hear fat boy, fat man right there? These Republicans cannot know a moment of peace. What does that mean? See, notice that? Now, if Trump was to say something like that, he's inciting violence. Anybody on the right who was to say, we need to go out to the streets, these Democrats can't have a moment of peace. Do you understand they would be going there putting people's lives in danger. This is obviously a dog whistle. This right here is incentive to go ahead and release all the white supremacy and white nationalism. They've been emboldened. They've been emboldened. And this man just said, we can't have a moment of peace. But he ain't filling the blanks. He ain't letting folks know what that mean. Does that mean what? I'm sitting in a restaurant eating some spaghetti and meatballs, and I got to sit there and listen to radicals all in my ear. Does that mean that? Or, who knows, maybe snatch my MAGA hat off. Or who knows, maybe throw something on me to damage my car. I mean, the sky's the limit when it comes down to these radical leftists. But they're encouraged by people like him, and it gets worse.
They have to understand that we will fight their cruelty with every megaphone and microphone that we have.
What cruelty? What cruelty? See, this is the stuff, man. I mean, they know what they're doing when they come out and they say things like this. They know Trump's not being cruel to anybody that don't deserve it. And he's even being nice to the people who are being sent back, not down to El Salvador, but just back to their country. Because, see, a real dictator, a real Hitler, you think he's going to waste the money to send all these people back to their country when he could just go ahead and terminate them all, force them into slave labor? I mean, there's so many things a dictator could do with all of these illegal immigrants that the Democrats have given the country. See, he could turn it around and say, all right, American MAGA citizens no longer have to work. There you go. We're going to go ahead and let you guys sit it out and force all of these illegal immigrants to do your job for you. That's their payback. So now, but you get the paycheck. You get the paycheck. I'm breaking y'all off for voting for me and supporting my authoritative regime. I mean, he can do anything, right? He's a king. He's a dictator. He's Hitler. So this guy right here is out here throwing stupid stuff out there like that. And I'm wondering to myself, well, what if I'm crazy and I'm listening to you say these things?
The dangers that my family experienced in Ukraine.
Here we go.
The dangers that we saw in Nazi Germany.
Oh God, there it is. There it is. We knew some knots was coming. There it is. Always got to slide a bit of Nazi in there. Some Hitler. So now he's comparing Trump and what they're doing to the Nazi regime. Do you understand how offensive this is? And such a disrespect to their voters' intelligence. But it's also a very clear indicator on how easily their voters are manipulated. They can't have any brains. They got poop for brains. If they're sitting here thinking what Trump is doing is the early beginnings or signs of what the Nazis did.
Especially in the earliest days of Nazi Germany, are the dangers that we need to react to now. If we don't, things will get much, much worse. And so we've got to raise alarm bells to everybody. It's a 5-alarm fire, everyone.
No, it's not. No, it's just a match that you guys went, I'm about to burn the whole house down. Or it's a match and y'all are telling everybody, run out the house. The whole house is on fire. Well, where's the smoke? Where's the flames? Where's the heat? You're telling me the house is burning down, but I don't feel none of that. But you got some people, all they need to hear is there's a fire and this and this, and they don't care. Just take off. So now this guy is saying that if we don't stop Trump, we're leading towards what the Nazis did, Germany. No signs of that whatsoever. No indicator. No, nothing. And Trump has never messaged how he wants to, destroy a whole race of people. I mean, he's being nice by sending these people back. They violated our laws. They broke into our country. Sending them back is not what the Nazis probably would have done. You think they would have done that? Huh? I mean, why didn't the Nazis just say, hey, all the Jews in Germany, we're going to round you up, put you on airplanes, and fly you back to Israel. Fly you somewhere where you want to be. Okay? Just got to go out the country. Why didn't they do that? Why didn't they do that? But instead they say, you know what? Let's enslave these people. Let's experiment on these people. Let's terminate these people. That's what the Nazis were doing. But this guy got the nerve to compare what Trump is doing to the Nazis.
It's time to step out of your comfort zone and step out into the streets.
In other words, get more crazier, get more radical, tear up stuff, intimidate, mess around with our whole unity of our country. Just be a pain in everybody's butt. Be a radical, stupid, brainless zombie protester and all of that stuff. The crazies. That's what they're creating. They're creating the crazies.
And speak up and make your voice.
He's about even on immigration in total, but everything else, he's sort of underwater.
Is that true?
And particularly on the economy, tariffs, and inflation, he's well underwater. We've still got some work to do on that front. A lot of people think.
Oh, shoot. This guy right here is trying to lay down some poll numbers from Fox with the brain. Because we're looking at Trump's first 100 days, but we just heard some people say that now we're authoritative regime, we're Nazis. We heard the preacher say we're roaches. Don't forget about that, guys. We're roaches. The N-word, and then spooks. We're spooks. And then yet the fake news is saying they haven't used their imagination enough on how bad Trump is. But let's see just how bad these first 100 days are, because he's saying that, hey, Trump's under the water because of these things that he's doing to save our country.
That he's spending too much time on tariffs and not enough time on the economy and lowering prices. What do you say?
Well, I don't want to make things awkward for you, John.
Not enough time on the economy and lowering prices. What do you think using the tariffs to get fair trade deals is for? Do you think that might contribute to lowering prices and working on the economy? You think that could that be a part of it? Only an ignorant person wouldn't be able to make that connection or put the trade deals and the tariffs into the same pot as working on the economy, trying to get prices lower, trying to keep businesses here, making sure other countries treat us fairly with the trade. All of these things work hand in hand. But only Trump supporters and smart people recognize that, I guess.
But it is our opinion that Fox News needs to fire its pollster.
The brain!
I won't surprise you with that. I don't think you're surprised that I'm saying that. But the Fox News pollster has always been wrong about President Trump. They were the ones that said all summer long that Kamala Harris was going to be the 47th president of the United States.
Boy, they got that one wrong. A whole heap of people. Yeah, just like they got that wrong with Hillary. But hey, but now Stephen is being somewhat nice to him because usually he's a little more vicious to the fake news. But he's messing with the brain. Brain, help him out.
So we don't acknowledge any of that polling.
What do you think of the Amazon decision on the tariff in terms of clarity?
Oh, so wait, big tech and some of these companies, along with the left Democrats and stuff, are kind of fighting against what Trump is trying to do with these tariffs? So you're telling me Amazon had the nerve to put up some type of message saying that there's an increase on your products due to the tariffs? In other words, blame Trump and stuff like that. Yeah. Now, why didn't they do that with Creepy? I know they made signs and stuff for Creepy pointing. They said, I did that. And I had one. I put it on the gas pump, y'all. Joe Biden did that. I did that. But you didn't find Amazon saying this is a tax because of Joe Biden and all that crazy spending and all of this stuff. So let's see what they said. And before the news could jump on this story and say that Amazon has betrayed Trump, Trump made a phone call. And guess what? Yeah, let's take that down.
And Caroline Levitt saying that the president sees it as a hostile and political act to say that the price increases that they are facing would be due to the tariffs.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it's hostile or not. I will say that there was no mention whatsoever at Amazon about Joe Biden's inflation. And the fact is that we got to 40-year highs.
Yeah, and all they had to do is just have a little picture pop up with him pointing, saying, I did that. They could have easily done that. You go to click on to buy yourself some brand new skis or a skateboard, click it, and it shows the normal price, and then it adds Joe Biden's inflation on there, and then a little picture. I did that. But they didn't do that, though. See, they wanted to go ahead and allow the Democrats to keep lying and saying inflation is transitory, and it's not that high. It's not that high. It was higher under Trump.
Inflation measured by the Consumer Price Index was up 9.1%. We all remember we were at the cash register. Everything cost so much more.
Yeah.
So,
I stopped eating bacon for almost 3 years. Yeah, because I couldn't afford the bacon because of Joe Biden. They should have had a sticker on the bacon that said, I did that. with Joe pointing right at the bacon.
Why they're putting a little bug now? This is because of the tariffs, and they didn't put a little bug. This is because of the $7 trillion spent by the Democrats under Joe Biden is a question.
I was intrigued to hear the president's own words. With
Mr. Wonderful's take on it. Let's see if this is all so bad what Trump is doing.
We're very close to a deal with India, and you think that's very important, don't you?
Hello.
It was leaked by Gasparino on Friday. And then during the White House Correspondents' Dinner, it was leaked all over the place with all the outlets. And then Bassett on Monday, before the market opened, said, watch this space here. Clearly, they're just signaling, we're going to take one of these deals, India's going to be it, we're going to ink it and make it a template for EU, England, Switzerland, Canada, Mexico.
So this man is a visionary. He sees it. And all of us are too. I see the day when the tariffs are no longer an issue. I see the day when you're dealing with a visionary, a businessman, and a visionary and a negotiator like Trump. You got to see what you don't see. You see them working towards something that you can justify, that you can sit back and say, this is necessary. And it's only a matter of time before we land a fat one and everybody else falls like dominoes. I see that in the eye of my mind. I'm saying, boy, they're going to all have to eat crow when this stuff pans out, and then they do tax reforms and man, all of that and energy and it all just comes together. Man, they're all going to come out there and talking about now Trump, he's making America too great. That the people are having too much money and they're enjoying life too much. And that just goes to show it's his white nationalism. That's what he wants people to experience, how it feels to be a white national. They'll try to find something to say negatively. So Mr. Wonderful here, he sees where this is going. He sees the groundwork that's being laid. But everybody, the fake news and all, don't want you to look at what's now, right now. See, look, China's, they're upset and Trump's not. And you know what?
Japan, that's 72% of all the trade. Whoa. So if you get that done, you're done, so to speak. I mean,
why do you think we've not got that deal with India done yet?
Trade deals are tough. I've never heard of any administration, either of you, ever announce 60 negotiations simultaneously.
60 negotiations simultaneously. So basically, who wants to be first? I mean, when you are the champ, everybody got to come to you for the fight. He's like, yo, I mean, we're open to negotiations. I want to know who's going to be first. There's a blessing in it for ya. Boy, I tell you, China needs the pressure because India got a whole bunch of people too that will probably do the same stuff for a lot cheaper without no tariffs. So they better get their act together. So, brothers.
You know, you talk about a NAFTA or an EU deal or something with England, which is out of the EU now. I think the market would really, really like to see, one, to get an idea of two things, the pace at which this is coming, and secondly, the fact that they can get one done, because it has been 100 days. The tariff narrative is really getting intense, and people would like to know, okay, what does the deal look like with India? I mean, I'm very interested to find out if we can ship fully manufactured automotive product into India without 110% tariff.
110% tariffs. Now, I'm excited about that too. I'm sure all of those folks up in Michigan or working at Ford or GM or whatever, I'm sure they'll be happy to know now we could sell cars to India, Europe, or any of these other places that has been stroking us with the tariffs. But yet they will definitely send all of their products over here. Got all these Mercedes riding around and BMWs and Volvos and stuff like that. But you can't go over there and find a bunch of Ford trucks or Chevys and all of that stuff. Wonder why not? No Harley Davidsons over there? None of that stuff? So, yeah, I'm interested in seeing how that will work too. Because the media is going to have to spin that. Well, just because it's India, that doesn't mean anything. It's the India is racist anyway. That's why they did it.
That's good. And reciprocal, I think they may go to a zero tariff situation or a very low reciprocal. The market would love that, Stuart.
Yes, and so will all of the people buying products will love that. Yeah. See, nobody wants to pay for the product and the tariffs on top of it and the taxes on top of it. Okay? Zero tariffs would be great. But the Democrats, they don't see that vision. And if Trump pulls this off, y'all, woo-wee, it's going to be amazing to see how they're going to spin that and try to make it sound negative.
They really would.
You have a fake news that doesn't report it the way they should be reporting it. Look.
Give me some examples, Trump. We have a fake news who don't report it the way it should be reported. Let's see. Show me some stuff.
Look, the news has been proven to be totally fake.
Yes.
And I traveled the world.
There she is again. Raggedy Patty. We just saw her have somebody on her show lying about the Holocaust. So here she is back in the day talking about how truth is the standard.
On trips to promote democracy, where I saw the power of the United States, and of course, the power of this podium, and the power of truth.
And the power of truth.
Share the truth even when it's hard to hear. And that's something that I hope to deliver on in this role as well.
Wow.
The presidential election of November 5th was a mandate like has not been seen in many decades.
Darn right. So here's Trump. She's showing a clip of him at his speech, many, what do you call that? State of the Union. And she's about to try to throw some mud on Trump's 100 days. The whole goal is to come out and discredit and say his whole 100 days have been a catastrophe. Now, why would you do this as a news network? Why would you try to even pretend to say, well, here's some good things, here's some bad things, some negative things, some positive things? You think that's in their MO? You think MSNBC could even fake it a little bit about what their motive is? Nope. Came straight out.
No matter how many times he or people around him say it, he didn't even win a majority of the vote. Okay. And that is just a fact.
That is just a fact. Then what did he win? What did he win? Did Kamala get the majority of the vote? What are you basing that on, Raggedy? What are you basing that on?
And yet Donald Trump thought he had a mandate to start a trade war.
Are you prepared?
Thought he had a mandate to start a trade war. Well, let's see how the people feel.
Prepared to pay higher prices for goods?
I've been paying higher prices, baby. No less.
Oh, there you go, newsman. I've been paying higher prices. Yeah, because Joe did that. Remember that? Joe did that. I did that. So here is, are you prepared? Yes, Trump supporters know what's going on. We see the vision. We see where this is going. We see the necessity in this. So don't try to fool us. That's why I love smart conservative people.
When Biden got in office, my groceries have doubled, my gas has doubled. No, I'm already used to it. No, I'm not used to it.
But you're prepared for more. We're looking at, with the tariffs, these are massive tariffs.
No, but it has to happen.
Yeah, dummy. Are you prepared for more? Because you know what they yeah, but it has to happen. See, it's for the greater good. We're seeing what's going to happen down the line, buddy. You're trying to get us to look right here. Nah, we see the vision. You'll never get where you're going if you don't look ahead. Yeah, try following your feet to take you where you're going. Looking down like this. No, you got to look straight ahead. So this lady is schooling this guy. And it cracks me up when they try to ambush Trump supporters, hoping they can get them to be like, well, I don't know much about that, or I don't support that, or yeah, you got a point. And they be like, man, whatever. We see what's going on. We see what you're trying to do.
Or it goes back down. I've been paying higher prices, baby. No less. When Biden got in office, my groceries have doubled, my gas has doubled.
Wow. Look at that. But she said Trump didn't have a mandate to go ahead and start a tariff war.
Thought he had a mandate to pick people like Pete Hegseth for his cabinet to oversee the Defense Department.
What are you talking about? He didn't have a mandate to pick people like... Voting him in gives him the right to pick whomever he wants. You big, fat, ugly, raggedy and doll. Unbelievable. He didn't have a mandate to pick people like Pete Hegseth. He has the right to pick whomever he chose. These people, man, I tell you. But remember, she thinks she's talking to nothing but bubbleheads who they're not going to question that. They're not even going to stop to say, wait, doesn't he have the right to pick whomever? You know what? Instead, they're going to go, yeah, we never voted for Pete Hegseth. Are we supposed to vote for Pete Hegseth? Is that our job? No, we don't get to vote for that? Well, you know what?
He thought he had a mandate to effectively kidnap
legal residents and ship them off to foreign prisons.
There we go. See, this is the stuff, man, that causes radical folks to go crazy. Lies like this. American residents. Y'all hear that? That fat lie? I mean, they should be sued for this type of defamation. You just said he's kidnapping American citizens and sending them off. Somebody sue them again. Can we get another lawsuit going for Raggedy Patty right here?
Saudi demanded to effectively kidnap legal residents and ship them off to foreign prisons.
I gotta get the crazy laugh, y'all. I don't, you got to be kidding me. Effectively, legal residents and send them off to foreign prisons.
But he never did.
But she's
Saudi demanded to effectively kidnap legal residents and ship them off to foreign prisons.
Well, we better take a look.
There are a lot of dates and information about Kilmar Abrego Garcia. We've uncovered several pieces to the puzzle. Here's the timeline that we know of right now.
Yeah.
Abrego Garcia, a Salvadorian national, entered the United
Salvadorian national. Huh. Doesn't sound like Killer Garcia, a Maryland resident. No, it didn't say that. So Salvadorian national. What else is he?
United States illegally. Court documents say he only
entered the United States illegally. Court documents say. Court documents, not Trump. The court documents say that.
Ever lived in Maryland.
Kidnap legal residents and ship them off to foreign prisons.
Somebody go get the suing paper. That's right. I'll type up the lawsuit. I am subpoenaing Raggedy Patty for lying about us kidnapping American citizens and shipping them off to foreign prisons.
Share the truth even when it's hard to hear. And that's something that I hope to deliver on in this role as well.
And you failed. You're piss poor at it because you're deceiving folks. See, they're not just fake news. They're not just, accidentally reporting bad stuff or wrong stuff. They're purposefully doing it. They're maliciously lying to manipulate the feelings and sentiment of people in America. That's why they truly are the enemy of the people. And they're being led and influenced by these dummies. Y'all remember this, y'all? This is what the Democrats are doing in their spare time. So the ones that aren't down there in El Salvador trying to get gangbangers back here to the country are sitting on the steps of the Capitol having a little sit-in. Maybe they're having a fireside chat. Marshmallows, perhaps. Probably buying them all lunch because they're staffers. They probably couldn't get enough protesters in time. Maybe Soros didn't cut the check early enough. So it's just a handful of them. But they're talking about stuff.
Pushing back against the Republican efforts to jam this far-right extreme budget down the throats of the American.
What makes it far-right extreme? What are you talking about? Now, what is he saying? We're going to do nothing. We're going to simply obstruct. We're going to simply resist regardless of what it is. We don't care how wonderful it is, how many people will be blessed. We don't care if this budget or this tax code or whatever does wonderful things. We don't care. Anything Trump puts out there, we're going to sit and say, no, we're not doing it. But what we're not going to do is we're not going to give you a alternative. Not going to give you a solution. Just going to whine about it and say we're not going to support his the far-right
American people. And we wanted to make sure that heading into that fight, we were very clear with our Republican colleagues. There will not be a single Democratic vote to take away the health care of the American people.
And I don't think Trump's doing that anyway. But you know what kills me? Did you think that we thought there would be a single vote from the Democrat? Are you kidding me? Most of them are straight up enslaved to the party. So he's thinking he's schooling us on something. So what? That's why we got the majority.
Not a single Democratic vote.
There's that guy girl. So now, here's the guy girl about to lie too. She's about to lie. She's about to lie too.
Voting for this president in the last election and you don't like what you are seeing, we are here to fight for you.
Fight for us for what? So if you're a person who vote for this president, you don't like what you're saying, that we are here to fight for you. To do what? That's my question. What is Trump taking away from you? What are you fighting for? Huh? That's my question. Any of these people who think that the Democrats are fighting for them, all you got to do is say, fighting to do what? Make sure we have more abortions? There you go. Maybe something like that. How about more illegal immigrants in the country? Because I'm thinking, what have y'all done for us? What, more inflation? Huh? More debacles overseas? I mean, what are you saying that you have no platform?
Because what is clear is that Republicans in Congress and this administration don't care about anyone but billionaires.
That's it, right? You see? Very vague accusations that they hope nobody internalizes. So now let me understand. We're here to fight for you. And yet you're not telling people, well, what is it exactly we're fighting for? What is Trump taking away from you guys? They just want people to think that stuff is being removed and taken away. And the Democrats are going to fight for our freedom and our democracy and our whatever else we think we are losing. And then to tip it off, to top it off, Trump don't care about y'all. He don't care about y'all. He's done all of this just so he can go ahead and hook his billionaire friends up, guys. Y'all hear that? Trump went through 4 years of hell the first time, then another 4 years of hell waiting to become president again. Now they're trying to take him through some more hell. And he's doing all of this because he don't care about Americans. There it is. He don't care about them. He just cares about his billionaires. They don't even realize how dumb they sound and how these statements could be destroyed if they just had one person sitting on those steps with common sense.
That fund their campaigns. They are willing to hurt everyone. People who voted against them, and yes, people who voted for them.
Willing to hurt everyone. How? Doing what to them? I don't feel hurt. I feel elated. But cue the music.
All to help the wealthiest among us.
You know the song from the beginning. I will build this world from love.
He said y'all know the song from the beginning.
And you must build this world from love.
You see how dumb they look? This is the modern Democrat Party right there. That's what they're doing. Right there. Not sitting around coming up with policies. Not addressing things that the hard working class, middle class folks are saying, all right, now that's a good idea. That's a good idea. All you got to do is ask these people, what ideas do you have? And see what they say. The first idea is to stop Trump. The second idea is to fight against injustice. No ideas. None whatsoever. If they had those, they would have implemented them under Creepy Sleepy. But they didn't. They had no ideas. Do you think they would go toe-to-toe with China? No, they're probably getting kickbacks from China. Especially Joe with that $1.5 billion deal. You think they would have done anything about trade? Think they'd have dropped some tariffs on anybody to try to go ahead and balance things out? No. You think they would have supported building the military back up and got DEI and all this wokeness out of there so that we could start getting more soldiers? You think they would have said, hey, Zelensky, there's a deadline to all the cheese we've been sending you. Now, you better get yourself together or else you're going to get blown off the map and we won't be there to help you. You think they'd have did that? Nope. Get more money. Send as much. We're here for the long haul. Fighting against Putin. So now, here they are talking about, we will lift them up. They don't realize how dumb they look.
You know, so if this...
Uh-oh. Now see? Now look at this guy right here. So here's his take on what Trump is doing after his first 100 days, y'all. He's about to try to scare everybody into saying, we got to do something.
Judge did something wrong and she broke the law. Okay, she needs to be tried. But let me tell you something.
What?
Every single day, the Trump administration violates the orders that courts issue. Every single day, they go out and kidnap people off the street.
You see? You see? Now, we all know this guy is fake. We all know he's lying. But somebody is saying, yeah. So Trump is disobeying court orders every day. What court orders? I mean, all of these judges who are doing this stupid stuff, he just finds ways to work around them. But he's not disobeying them. And they never told him to bring back the killer. They just said help facilitate it. But see, they won't tell people that. So basically, Trump is defying court's orders. He's doing exactly what we said he was going to do. He's becoming a dictator. We told you, he said on day one, he's got to be a dictator. And then the Supreme Court made him a king, See, he's doing it. And he's also kidnapping everyday Americans right off the street. Lies.
Every single day, they take people who are in this country on legal status who have not committed a crime.
Like Killer, on legal status, who beat up his girlfriend, his wife.
And deport them to a foreign gulag prison camp. So I don't think you're at the end of the abuse of judicial power and executive power in this. You're at the beginning. This is a way that...
Y'all hear that? We're at the beginning of an abuse of executive power. What's the solution, Mr. Scareman?
They're trying to intimidate people, but I will tell you, when this is all over, when this is all said and done...
That judge is going to go to jail? That's what you're about to say? The one that let an illegal immigrant escape in the middle of his hearing? Out the back door, you're telling me she's about to go to jail? She's at fault?
Tom Homan and Christine O and Cash Patel and Danny Bing Bong Dildo are going to fucking prison because they...
So they're the ones breaking the law, right? The ones that are sending all of these people out of the country that broke a law to get in our country, and then the judges that are opening back doors to let them escape, they're not the ones that need to be in jail. The judge, she's cool. It's Cash Patel and all of them. Do you see how twisted these folks are? They will never let well enough alone. They got to constantly keep that stupid stuff circulating in our society, which is destroying the country. It's separating the country between smart folks and dummies at this point. Honestly, smart folks and dummies.
They are using federal executive power to arrest people illegally. They are defying orders every single day. They are behaving in a way that is going to put them in jail. And I, for one, am here for it.
Well, you hear that? There it is, guys. He said after all this is said and done, all of these folks who are deporting folks that are here illegally are going to jail because really they're not here illegally according to this propaganda. No, they're American citizens. They're supposed to be here. And all of them that Homeland and the FBI in there know that they actually were convicted of these things like murder and all that stuff. Forget that. Just because they were convicted of those things or at least accused of those things, they got to go through a trial here in America to actually prove it. So those signs that Trump put out there in front of the White House that showed all of those gangbangers that were sent back, where it was saying murderer, the R word, the drug dealer, all of those things, they have no evidence of it. They're just randomly accusing all of these people. How did they come up with the label of that? I mean, did they just randomly just say, let's stick this one under this guy's picture? Or do they have some knowledge that these people are what they say they are? Maybe Homeland got wind of it. Maybe they identified them somehow. You know, I'm sure that they know that these people have done those things. But yet the left is saying until they go through a trial and until they are convicted and have due process for some reason in our country, until they go through all of that, they're innocent. Therefore, they have a right to be in the country. Trump doesn't have the right to snatch these basically American citizens right off the street and send them out the country and then label them as murderer, drug dealer, gangbanger, or whatever. He don't have the right to do that. Let's spend more taxpayers' dollars going ahead and taking these guys through a trial. That's what this guy is suggesting. And if you don't do that, you're violating their due process.
Where some of the hypocrisy to me comes out, Michael, because I've seen a lot of garment renting. Oh, he from liberals, let's just say it.
This guy, he works on CNN. So we just heard the propaganda say that the judge, they abused that judge. But according to this guy who was on CNN, listen what he got to say.
How dare he arrest a judge? It is an intrusion on the sacrosanct nature of our courts. Yeah. I agree that you have to think harder about it and be more careful about it as a prosecutor. But these are the same folks who were gravely intoning when Donald Trump got arrested. No man is above the law. Well, no
face. You know it's bad when somebody who works for CNN is keeping it real. All of them. No man is above the law.
Judge is above the law either. And I know plenty of judges who, if a non-judge had done this, had shown someone a back door to help them get away from arresting agents, would bring the house down on them. Look, I do think it's a fair point to say that's a precipitous line to cross if you're a judge or if you're a prosecutor charging the judge. But I think the prosecutors, based on this complaint, we always have to say it's a complaint, they have to prove it. But I think the charge here is warranted. I do think this judge committed a crime. I've seen some really interesting gymnastic-style contortions to try to explain.
Me too. Yeah, she's a freedom fighter. I look at her as a hero. Yeah, she might have. Yeah, I mean, I guess she probably could if you really tried to look deeply into what she did. Maybe think it might be a crime. But the other way you can look at her is a hero. There it is. Yeah, I've heard all kind of excuses why this judge shouldn't get the hammer.
Why it maybe isn't a crime. I mean, that'll be litigated at a trial, but I don't see look, when you look at this whole complaint, I don't see any way to objectively look at this and say the judge did not have intent to block this arrest.
Unless you're propaganda. Unless you are carrying water for the Democrat Party and the left, and you're trying to protect all of your radical placed judges that you have that would do the bidding to protect these people that y'all went ahead and brought into our country illegally. So let's hear from the so-called lead Democrat, okay, and what he got to say about how they are going down there to El Salvador for these gangbangers. Let's see what Hawker Jeffries have to say about that, because the party is looking real bad right now.
Thank you, Leader. Congressman Henry Cuellar suggested recently that House Democrats made a mistake rallying around the deportation of Kilmar Abrego Garcia, who the Trump administration has accused of being a member of MS-13. What is your reaction to the congressman's statement, and would you encourage any other House Democrats to go to El Salvador to protest against the detention of Abrego Garcia?
Our reaction is that Donald Trump has the lowest public approval rating of any president in modern American history.
What's that got to do with this? What does that have to do with this? Do you see these dodging Democrats? So that's his response. My response to this is, it wasn't even relative. Not even relative. But nonetheless, guys.
Wait a minute now. Wait a minute.
But Don, it is not all good news for Democrats. We have to point this out because the Washington Post poll shows Americans still trust Trump over congressional Democrats when it comes to dealing with the country's major problems.
Wait a minute. So you're telling me, after we just heard Hawker say that, folks trust Trump more than the Democrats? You're telling me the Democrats have the lowest approval rating of all times at 21%? That's what you're telling me. But Hawker wanted to distract from a legitimate question about how stupid the Democrats look going down to El Salvador on behalf of gangbangers. So instead, he just goes, by the way, Donald Trump has the worst side. Yeah, it's like this little girl named Destiny. When I first moved down to Cincinnati, I took a job working at a after-school program. It was a daycare during the early morning, and it turned into an after-school program. And this little girl, man, she got stuck in my room, came in as a 2-year-old. She was transitioning to a 3-year-old with all of us. And she was just as smart as a whip, though, but ornery. And I fell in love with Destiny. She was great. I couldn't let her know that, though. I couldn't let her know that. But she was great. She was funny and everything. So Destiny would never go to sleep during nap time. She'd sit on her cot, playing with her shoes, untaking them off, putting them back on, twisting her hair. All the kids knocked out. So one day I'm sitting there watching Destiny fiddle around. I said, Destiny, come here. Just messing with her. So she gets up and she walks over to me. She's scared, right? She thinks she's in trouble because I got the look. I'm like, come here. She comes over and says, what are you doing, Destiny? That was my shoe. I said, what? What are you supposed to be doing, Destiny? She said, my shoe? Yeah, she tried to throw me off. Just threw something out there totally unrelated. Just said my shoe. And I'm going, what does that got to do with you being, you're supposed to be asleep. You telling me like that's the key password to get out of trouble? My shoe? Oh, your shoe. I'm sorry. Carry on. Boy, I tell you, I cracked up. My shoe? That's what he just did. Totally unrelated response and answer. You think it's good for them to be going down there to El Salvador? Trump has the worst ratings ever. I will be going, did you not hear what I just asked you? So now we got to look and see how the Democrats fare.
And they see Democrats as being a bit more out of touch. How did Democrats convince voters they can and will fight for them?
By sitting on the steps singing, la 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 la. That's how. You didn't know that? By going on every network saying Trump's evil, he's a racist, white nationalist, and all that stuff, and we're being taken over by regime. That's how. Yeah, going down to El Salvador, that's how they're going to convince them.
Well, Democrats are looking for a champion, and I continue to suggest here and other places that that champion is likely going to come from somewhere outside of politics. I don't know if Stephen A. Smith is the answer, but I can tell you that the American people are looking.
Don't do it, Steve. Don't set yourself up for a beatdown, man. Don't you do it. Stick with football or sports. So there's one of their leaders right there that they're trying to get rid of. See, because they want to change the narrative. Yeah, they want folks to start looking at, the Democrat Party as masculine, handle stuff, stern. But let's see what he got to say, because he's calling out the Democrat Party and the leadership of Hawker.
For that muscular, kind of masculine-based answer. And, we honestly have nobody right now on the list with the individual magnitude to match the bully pulpit of the presidency.
Y'all hear that? A moment of honesty. How can we convince them we're crap out of luck? We're up the creek without a paddle. We don't have anybody with that type of swag, masculinity to match what's coming out of the White House. So we're just going to continue to go out there lying to people and saying everybody hates what Trump is doing and this and that, because we have nobody to challenge him, J.D. Vance, or anybody else. But there's David Hogg, right?
So I think the search is going to go on for some time. What does that look like in terms of manifesting itself in 2028 candidates? I'm not exactly sure.
Piss poor. I'll field that one for you. Piss poor, especially if you got radicals like David Hogg or, who knows, AOC guys. They're looking for a new leader. They're looking for someone right now. So I think we might have found the Democrats' new leader. It's not AOC. It's definitely not Hawker Jeffries. It's not going to be David Hogg. Let's see if we could find
But I do know there's no individual member of the House or individual member of the Senate right now who would fit the bill.
Oh, man. He just punched Hawker Jeffries in the stomach. He just kicked Bathroom Booker in the testes with that one. I mean, he just jumped right over them.
Because we simply don't have the significance of platform to match the White House. Glad to see Hakeem and Cory Booker out there doing their thing right now.
They're doing their thing for nothing. Sitting on the steps, singing, talking about boxing, and making a complete fool of themselves. Nobody's going to get behind those two bums.
But it's hard to suggest that will match even the magnitude of a basic White House press conference.
Oh, a basic White House press conference. So all of those efforts of what they're doing, wasting their time out there, won't even stand up to a press conference in the White House. Lovett could come right out there and just destroy the whole Democrats' narratives just in a press conference. All of this to do out there in the sun and saying, look, Bathroom Booker standing up for 24 hours plus that for whatever reason, all of that is completely undermined by simple press conference. In fact, right now, nobody's even thinking about what Bathroom Booker did. I mean, how many people can actually give you some bullet points from Bathroom Booker talking for like 30 hours? Yeah, nobody will ever remember his name. He's like that scene in Dang on Troy when the kid asked if Achilles was scared to fight that guy, and he said, I wouldn't want to fight him. He said, that's why nobody will ever remember your name. Yeah, that right there, all that effort. I remember more about Bathroom Booker and the bathroom gate than I do about what he was saying that night. I know more about him being accused in that bathroom of peeking over at somebody at the stall. You shouldn't be doing that. Straight ahead. But Bathroom turned over. How you doing, brother? I'm doing good. How you doing, I guess? Yeah. Yeah, so what you about to get into? What do you mean what I'm about to get into? This stall, and then I'm out of here. Asking me some questions like that in the bathroom. We need to get to the bottom of Bathroom Gate. But let's continue, though.
So Democrats, I think that the bench is open, and broadly, we're looking for leadership, and it should be extremely inclusive and provide a broad opportunity for a lot of people to step up, even if that means they're coming from outside of the traditional realms of political.
Wow. So wait a minute, though. Wait a minute. We just heard Hawker Jeffries say Trump right there got the worst approval rating and stuff like that of all times, blah, blah, blah. And yet they don't even have a leader. But I got one for him, though. I got one for him. Here we go, y'all. Check it out. Person we never even knew.
The current issues, people are frustrated, people are angry, people are fearful about.
What? I have a hard time taking you serious with that very heavy Indian accent. I have a very, very, it's like, welcome to the Quickie Mart. So now let's see this guy with, it looks to be a perm, but I heard that's his real hair. But nonetheless, this might be it. They might have found a new leader in a Democrat Party.
About what's happening with the cuts in Washington, D.C., the tariffs.
What are you saying? I can't understand that. I can't understand that heavy accent right there. I speak English. This is America. So wait, here we go.
This is Congressman Shri Kanedar.
Who? How do you pronounce that? Where did he come from? Anybody ever know that this guy was even a congressman? They stuck this guy out there? This is it? Don't they have a leash on their people? So now a guy that obviously spent many, many years in India, because he ain't got the watered down Indian accent. He got that I just came from India accent. That's how heavy this accent is. 70 years old with that comb over, and he wants to impeach our duly elected president. That guy that nobody ever heard of. That shows how crazy the Democrat Party has become. How embarrassing the Democrat Party has become. This guy had to step up. So let's see what he's talking about. He might convince us. Let's see what he's talking about if we can understand the heavy accent.
Donald Trump has already done.
Already. I think he was trying to say already. Already done. Okay, so Donald Trump is already done.
Real damage.
Real damage. Y'all hear that? Real damage. Like what?
To our democracy.
First of all, let me get that name right. All right, that is, what is it? How do you say that? I'm going for it. Okay, that's the first name I think. It's Shahir. And then the last name. I'm going for the last name. Hold on, I got it. Let me see. Y'all, the comments in the way I can't see. I got to read it backwards. Okay. All right. I'm going for it again now. Cover me. I'm going in. There we go. The N-R. The N-R. There we go. Pretty close. All right, let's continue seeing what he's saying about impeaching President Trump.
Real
damage.
But defying a unanimous 9-0 Supreme Court ruling, that has to be the final straw.
No, Dane. He didn't defy them. He said that he would have facilitate the return if El Salvador sent that man back. So why are you lying on Trump right now about the last straw?
It's time we impeach Donald J.
Time we impeach Donald J.
Trump.
Boy, here we go.
Here we go.
The court said the wrongfully deported Kilmer Garcia must be allowed to return and receive due process.
That's what the court says. Must be allowed. But hey, unfortunately, he's tied up. Unfortunately, he's not going to be able to make it back anytime soon. Apparently, his president of his country wants him to stay there. So hey, it's out of our hands now. It's out of our hands. Hey, things change. We'll help facilitate it. But there is no order to bring him back, Mr. Impeachment. That we can't even pronounce your name. Dang on it. Didn't know you existed until a couple days ago when we all were making fun of you.
Trump ignored it. He ignored the Constitution.
What?
He ignored the very checks.
The very checks
and balances that keep our democracy intact.
Oh, yeah?
This isn't an isolated incident.
It isn't?
It's part of a dangerous, deliberate pattern.
Oh.
That's why today I introduced a resolution to impeach Donald J. Trump.
Now hold your horses, Hapu. You got to be kidding me, Bali man. So now this guy's introducing articles of impeachment. He's their new leader. There it is. Hawker, you're out. And Mr. is now the new leader of the Democrat Party. That's the face that's going to win all of those voters out in the country over to you guys right there. There it is. That's the manly man that they've been waiting for. So now he's talking about repeated Donald Trump has done it. You know, what's been repeated is you stupid people constantly slinging dang on impeachment around like it's nothing. I mean, do you understand how crazy this has become? I mean, they just throw it out there like it's nothing. No evidence of Trump violating any laws, any constitution, any of that stuff. They're all making this crap up and just saying, now we're going to introduce articles of impeachment. Okay, I'll be darned if we let Mr. impeach the president.
In this country, we have presidents, not kings. That's not just misconduct, it's impeachable.
Misconduct? You hear that? Not just misconduct. It is very impeachable. So let's finish hearing from this man right here.
Misconduct. This isn't leadership. It's tyranny.
Tyranny. There it is again. Leadership. Tyranny. It's tyranny? Really? Are you kidding me? Boy, I tell you, man. Unbelievable.
At this stand, we are saying the president is above the law, that the United States Constitution is optional. I won't be silent, and I'm calling...
You need to be silent because I can't understand hardly a word you're saying. That's what you need. Sound like you got peanut butter on the top of your mouth. You got some peanut butter. You sound like a dog with peanut butter on the top of your mouth. Yeah. But nonetheless, that guy with that crooked lower level of teeth that shifted over like this and the whole row missing from there is talking about impeachment. So now, like always, we anticipated impeachment. How can we take you guys serious? How can anybody take the Democrat? Do you understand how bad this would backfire? Maybe they forgot all of the red on the map when Trump won. Maybe they forgot that. I thought it was a skit too. When I first saw this clip, I was like, whoa, this is funny. I guess India and their news are doing like a funny skit or something. That's just good. What? So wait, somebody actually voted this guy. Democrats voted this guy in Michigan. What district is he over? And how the world? It has to be all Indians. Because how can the Americans understand that heavy accent? I love to see him on the campaign trail debating with that accent. They'd be like, okay, I think he said something good. But I can't really make it out though. So can you slow that down? Can you enunciate the words? So let's continue hearing him talk about what Trump did to be impeached.
On all my colleagues, Democrats, Republicans, and Independents to stand up with me. Enough is enough. Donald J. Trump must be impeached.
Y'all hear this? Must be impeached. So now he's going to tell us what he's going to be impeached over. Sticking this guy out there, talking about impeachment is doing nothing but making everybody say, yeah, the Democrat Party is crazy. They're off the chain. This is what they're producing. And then not only that, did we not know anything about this guy until he just came out with some articles of impeachment. Didn't know he existed in Congress. I've never seen him up on the Capitol. I've never seen him in the background walking. I didn't know this human even existed, let alone be a member of Congress that they voted into the Democrat Party. Unbelievable. Stick him out there, please, because I think this is your new leader. Look at him taking the initiative on the impeachment.
The court said the wrongfully deported Garcia.
You hear him roll that R? Wrongfully deported. There you go. Roll them R's. Wrongfully deported. Garcia. That guy?
Garcia must be allowed to return and receive due process. Trump ignored it. He ignored the Constitution.
No, he didn't. They didn't say he must be returned. They just said Trump once again. You're trying to impeach the president on a lie. That's what you're doing. Like all of the Democrats' attempts. How many impeachment attempts is this, guys? We had Wolfman Jack, Al Green. He did it the first time. Then he came with some more impeachment this time. Then, of course, they all impeached him the first time. Oh, wait, and then there was the second impeachment. Then now this guy's throwing out some articles of impeachment too. At what point do they burn that bridge? At what point do people start saying, you know what? I think you guys should go to work instead of running around trying to impeach the president every 5 seconds on lies.
He ignored the very checks and balances that keep our democracy intact. This isn't an isolated incident.
It's not.
It's part of a dangerous, deliberate pattern.
Okay.
That's why today I introduced a resolution to impeach Donald J.
Tell us
Trump,
what they are.
outlining seven articles of impeachment.
What are they?
Article 1, obstruction of justice and abuse of executive power.
How? What justice was he obstructing? Was Garcia on his way to a court hearing and Trump let him out the back door or something like that? He didn't do that? Okay. So this designated gang member who is also listed as a terrorist, what did he obstruct?
From denying due process to...
So now, like Marco Rubio said the other night on my show, where he said, somehow over the last 20 years, we've developed this just unspoken idea that these people that came here legally shouldn't be just straight deported as easily as they came into the country. When they get here, it triggers all of these other things. And now we got to go ahead and go through a long drawn out process to get them out. But yet the law doesn't require that. See, when it comes down to illegal immigrants breaking into the country, they should be stopped, detained, and deported. But now this guy is dropping it out there like this is a new constitutional amendment that we didn't know about. Anybody know about that one? Where it says in the Constitution, if someone breaks into the United States illegally, you have to go through due process to get him out of here. But yet he's going to try to impeach the president on that stupidity.
To unlawful deportations, Trump defied court orders.
So they're unlawful deportations, but it wasn't unlawful break-ins. Isn't that on? They focus on the deportations and they talk about due process and unlawful, but yet they would not call them illegal immigrants. They won't say they unlawfully came into the country. They'll call them undocumented citizens, almost pretty much Americans, they're migrants, but not unlawful entry. They won't say these folks came here unlawfully, therefore we're sending them out lawfully. But instead they flip it because they're perverted. They say these people came in lawfully and has the right to be here, and to deport them is unlawfully. You see how perverted and stupid this party is?
Article 2.
Article 2.
Taking away Congress's power.
Taking away, not away. Taking away. Okay, so taking away Congress' power.
Power of the purse. Trump dismantled agencies and froze funds without permission.
Permission from who? Once y'all dedicate the money to the executive branch, he allocates it the way he wants, Mr. Hapu. So now this guy is talking about Trump took away they're under his purview. Yeah, he's able to do that, buddy. So thanks for the money. We just decided, you know what? We're not going to spend all of that money. We're not going to ship that. Well, maybe we should just save that for this because that's important. The rest of the stuff is unimportant. But this bum, along with the rest of these crooks, they want us to be able to shovel all kind of money out to all these agencies for their slush fund. So now he's mad about that. What else?
From Congress. Article 3.
3?
Abuse of trade powers and international aggression.
How is that impeachable? Abuse of trade powers and international aggression. You see how they're just making stuff up? This guy's an embarrassment. I mean, if anything, they should have been like, get him off, get him off, get him off. Who is this guy again? You know, Hawker Jeffries probably is like, who is he? Where did he come from? He's been in Congress? Oh my God. We're trying to change the MO. We're trying to change the image. Now we got Jasmine Ratchet running around embarrassing us. AOC embarrassing us. And now this guy, unreal.
He imposed damaging tariffs and threatened military invasions of our allies.
Thank you, Leader.
No, he didn't. Now Hawker Jeffrey got an answer for Hapu.
Congressman Thandar introduced 7 articles of impeachment today against President Trump. Given that Dems are out with messaging on other fronts, is introducing articles of impeachment an effective way of messaging, given that the numbers are just not on your side right now in the House?
I haven't talked to him about it.
Of course you did, because your party is out of control. Nobody had to check in with you, Hawker, before they just made a video and posted it up there, introducing articles of impeachment. Nobody had to check in with you because you're a feckless leader.
Sam just stole my impeachment question, but
Same answer.
I'll follow up. Are you, if leadership is not supporting those efforts, are you actively discouraging members introducing articles?
I don't know. I have no control over the party.
Member so far that has introduced or said they would introduce articles.
I haven't said one way or the other. I haven't evaluated the articles that were introduced. I haven't even had an opportunity to talk with him about it.
Don't worry though, because I'm sure if y'all get the House back, y'all will just make stuff up anyway. You already know that will be coming. That's why we got to get out these midterms and vote like nobody's business. I don't want them to take back over the House. The House is more in danger than, of course, the Senate. But we don't want them to take back either one of those chambers at all, because stuff will come to a halt. In fact, I want to increase our lead. So we're going to close, though, after hearing all of that stuff, all of them lies and propaganda and stuff, and their new leader. This, I guess now he's running the Democrat Party with impeachment. We're going to end with Trump addressing, I think, ABC. I guess he did a brief interview with them, talk about his first 100 days. And of course, they're asking him stupid stuff. And Trump laid it on thick for these folks.
Fake, disgusting news.
Yes, they are, Trump.
We have to get him out, and we're doing it.
Yeah, Mr. Shahir. Yeah, we got to get him out. Okay? And he's doing that because that's his mandate, and his job as the president is to protect the homeland, secure the country, keep the country safe. But Democrats want us to bring back gangbangers.
And you'll pick out one man, but even the man that you picked out, he said he wasn't a member of a gang, and then they looked.
So now, Trump is digging into him. See how he's laying on? He said, all these criminals we're getting out, instead of focusing on that and saying, yes, man, these people are straight dangerous, they need to go. Y'all was snooping. See, they overlooked all that. They were snooping around looking for one that they could use as a case. Okay, not them. Yeah, we got one. So let's focus on this one guy. Let's not even do a lot of research because we probably would find out he beat his wife and he was stuck with the gangs and stuff and all of that and the human trafficking. We probably would find that out. But we're so thirsty to stop Trump and his illegal immigration, deportation. Yeah, we're so thirsty. We're just going to lock onto this one guy and make him a hero. So Trump is calling this bum out.
Look, and on his knuckles, he had MS-13.
There's a dispute.
Well, wait a minute.
There's a dispute about that.
He had MS-13 on his knuckles.
You think Trump gonna let this go? You think you just gonna hit and run like this, Mr. ABC, man?
He had some tattoos that are interpreted that way. But
he had some tattoos that are interpreted that way. I mean, if I got a Superman tattoo on my chest, it's not Wonder Woman. I mean, definitely it looks like Superman, but we're not sure. It could be out the Incredible Hulk. We don't know. But let's move on. No, let's go back to that tattoo. He got the red cape on and the blue and the stuff, the tights. Looks like Superman to me. You know what? There's no proof of that. We don't want to really to speculate. Let's go ahead and move on. Trump's like, no, we're not going anywhere.
Let's move on. Wait a minute. Terry.
Terry.
MS-13. It says MS-13.
That was Photoshop.
That was Photoshop. What do you think that was Photoshopped on there for, though? It was to help us understand what those tattoos meant, though. You're not trying to understand them, though. I guarantee you didn't do any investigative work to see what are the signs of MS-13. I bet you don't want to know that. I bet you probably didn't Google what are the tattoos that show MS-13 involvement. Click it. You didn't even have to go out and find, some of your guys who work for you, your interns and stuff to do that research. That's something so simple that all of these people who try to downplay those tattoos on that guy's knuckles, all they have to do is reference it off of other MS-13 people cases. But they don't want to know that. They want to complete, they're speculative. We don't know that. We don't know that. And don't want to know. We don't want to confirm that those tattoos represent that MS-13.
That was Photoshop.
There you go. Wow. MS-13. Yeah, we got all of the little... Yeah, see, now, with the dummy and all the rest of these people who are trying to downplay that, don't realize, why would you be so stupid as to decode the gang's sign? Why would you go, you know what, instead of putting some certain tattoos that people have to interpret and only we would know what it means, why don't we just forget about that, man? Let's go ahead and just write MS-13 on our fingers. There you go. Or would you try to decode it? Would you put some signs up there? So now he have to help the news out by showing this is what these things mean. But we don't know. You photoshopped that up there.
So let me. That was Photoshop. Terry, you can't do that. Hey, they're giving you the big break of a lifetime. You know, you're doing the interview. I picked you because, frankly, I never heard of you, but that's okay.
The insults right to his face.
I picked you, Terry. Hey, but you're not being very nice.
Terry.
He had MS-13 tattooed.
We'll agree to disagree.
Terry.
Now we're agreed. Now he's flustered. He's nervous. This is his big break, and he's dealing with the man. And he's I got to get off this. They told me not to allow him to really focus on what this guy did and what these things represent. So I got to get off of this. And the best I could do is try to break even with we'll just agree to disagree. No, we're not having that.
Something else.
Terry, do you want me to show you the picture?
I saw the picture.
And you think it was Photoshop? Well,
Here we go.
Don't Photoshop it. Go look at his hand. He had MS-13.
He did have tattoos that can be interpreted that way.
He did have tattoos. Now, look. He's breaking out a little bit. He did have tattoos that can be interpreted that way. Can be interpreted that way. And the bootleg senator that went down there didn't even bother to ask him. Excuse me, Mr. MS-13 man. I came all the way down here and I'm putting my career and reputation on the line to bring you back home. What does those tattoos represent right there? Nothing. This is one for my son and my daughter, and my wife, and you. This last one is a dedication to you. Oh, well, that's great. That clears that up. Whew. For a minute, I thought it might represent MS-13. There you go. So instead of trying to figure it out, all of them can be interpreted as. Can be. There you go. That's the furthest he can go with it. Trump's not going to let it go.
I'm not an expert on them. I want to turn to Ukraine.
No.
Here it is. The default, I'm not an expert on it.
I want to get to Ukraine.
No. He had MS as clear as you can be, not interpreted. This is why people no longer believe the news, because
when
it's
he was
fake
photographed
news.
in El Salvador,
He's frustrated. Look, they don't. I got to interrupt you. I can't let you just go off and tell my whole raggedy audience that this person who we're defending and trying to make a big hubbub about is a gangbanger, an illegal immigrant gangbanger. They told me to come in and do the hit piece and bring him up, but don't give Trump the time to say, well, the guy you're bringing up and defending and trying to question me about, this is who you're defending. So now he's trying to do anything he can.
in El Salvador, they aren't there. But let's just go. They aren't there when he's in El Salvador.
They weren't there, but they're there now, right?
No,
But
they're in the picture.
Terry,
Ukraine.
Terry,
he's got
Ukraine. You hear Terry getting beat up? Come on, let's move it. Ukraine. What about Ukraine? Yeah, he's hitting him with the Destiny. My name is Destiny. That's what she said at the end. Oh, that was funny. That was the one she did. I left that out. She was saying my shoe earlier. If you remember the story I was telling about the little girl. She kept saying my shoe. And I was like, what? I said, Destiny, what does your shoe have to do with you going to sleep? Destiny said, my name is Destiny. Bam! She hit me with that. My name is Destiny. I'm going, so that's the get out of trouble free statement? Oh, you're Destiny. My fault. I misinterpreted who you were. I had no idea. Even though I was talking about you taking a nap. But hey, you hit me with the My Name is Destiny, which definitely clears things up. So now this guy, out of nowhere, Ukraine.
MS-13 on his knuckles. All right. Okay?
We'll take a look.
It's you do such a disservice.
All right, we'll take a look. We'll take a look. You know they're not. You know they're not. All right. We'll take a look. No, you're not.
Why don't you just say yes, he does, and go on to something else?
Because I'm a fake news person.
Let's just see who's lying, shall we?
Yeah. Wow. Nice ink there, Holmes. Wow, yeah. That doesn't look Photoshop right there. Ooh, look at those knuckles. Hey, Terry, are you looking at these? We can look at them if you want, Terry.
Would you look at that? Would you look at that?
Yeah, there's a few more blemishes on the car.
Oh my gosh, just look at it.
Car is not.
Just look at it. It's right there for you to look at, Terry. I mean, y'all only been talking about this case for the last 3 weeks. You've had plenty of time, Terry, to take a look. All of them who downplays that and said that's alleged, we don't know. I mean, we're not experts in gang, but all of them have had at least 3 weeks to do a little research and say, let's see if these signs actually represent MS-13. Notice they haven't done that though. Conveniently. So Terry is not going to go back to the studio and say, well, let's go ahead and take a look and see. No, he had plenty of time to do that before he came into the interview.
Just look at it.
Yeah, well.
What the heck is that?
Well, bonus round for Terry.
Don't
You
forget,
think he wants
this
peace?
is a.
You think Vladimir Putin wants peace?
I think he does. Yes, I think he
Still.
does. I think
Even
because
with the
of
raining
me,
missiles
I
on.
think he really his dream was to take over the whole country. I think because of me, he's not going to do that.
Do you trust him?
I think.
Do you trust him?
I don't trust you.
Oh! Terry, you in the ring with a heavyweight as you try to make Putin look like the villain in his story right about now. So you really think... Now, you know what the narrative is. Trump's carrying Putin's water. He trusts Putin more than our allies. I would, after watching Zelensky, the little midget, who is not operating in good faith, come over to America, disrespect the White House and ask for more money. That guy? Yeah, it appears that he don't want peace. So my gut tells me that Russia probably would be like, yeah, you give us a fair deal, we stop all this mess. Because we know Trump's not a globalist. Yeah, we know he's not a raggedy behind Democrat who's trying to push globalism and don't mind killing all the Ukrainians to do it. But yet, little midget man don't want to go ahead and have peace. But here he is. You really think that? You really think that? Yeah, you trust Putin? I trust. Now, this is sad. This is really sad. But I trust Putin more than I trust our legacy news. More than I trust them. That's the sad case that we're in at this point. That's how much these folks lie.
I don't trust a lot of people. I don't trust you. Look at you. You come in all shooting for bear. You're so happy to do the interview. And you start hitting me with fake questions. You start telling me that a guy whose hand is covered with a tattoo.
All right. I can't let you just sit here and just destroy me in my face. Come on, man. Trump, come on, man. Come on, man. Let's move on, man. Why are you doing this to me, Trump? Why are you doing this? Yeah, because you brought it on yourself, Terry, by playing stupid about those tattoos on the knuckles. Wanted to bring it up, but didn't want to confront those tattoos though, right? Bring up the situation, but not the details of that man's background, his character, and all of that. But Trump ain't done with Terry yet. He ain't done with Terry. He about to wipe his feet with Terry on the way out.
Doesn't have the tattoo, you know. All right. I mean, you're being dishonest.
No, I'm not.
No, I'm not. Even she knows it. Even she knows it. But wait a minute. Trump discusses first 100 days?
Do you think the reputation of the United States has gone down under your presidency? No, I think it's gone way up, and I think we're a respected country again. We were laughed at all over the world. We had a president that couldn't walk up a flight of stairs.
There's the evidence, y'all. Now, why weren't they asking, do you think the United States right now is still respected as we have this person wandering off overseas, being corrected by folks over there and Easter bunnies moving him around and him falling all over the place? Why didn't they ask any of that? See, so Trump is making these statements, but here's the evidence. See, I guess Terry thinks this was respect. He is walking up those stairs gingerly.
Down a flight of stairs.
He couldn't go up or down. Woo! He coming down them bad boys like his feet hurt, like he been wearing stilettos all night at the dance club. Yeah, buddy, he's coming down those steps like he got corns on the bottom of his feet, not on the top knuckles, on the bottom. Man, he's coming down those steps like he's walking over hot coal, barefoot, tender, concentrating on each step. Yeah, that right there is respect.
Cross the stage without falling.
Wait a minute, cross the stage. Oh, down goes Joe, and not Frazier. Joe Biden. Boy, I tell you. Oh, man, that was a bad one right there, boy. I might have watched that 1 gazillion trillion times laughing at it. Pick him up.
What their cost? 2, 10, 12, 15.
Whoa.
Folks stepping on them. It's black.
It's black. Did you know black could trip you? I mean, that's kind of racist, man. Just because it's black, you telling me the white man always tripping over the black man? That's what you're saying? But hey, something down there was black and it tripped you.
Anyway.
We had a president that was grossly incompetent.
I want to thank you all for being here. Now, who am I introducing next?
Boy, thank you, Trump, for pointing all of this out. Because Terry seems to have thrown that question out there to you to suggest that we're not respected anymore. Yeah. Or are you saying, Terry, that we're not being abused anymore? And we don't want to interpret, a whole bunch of accolades and praises as respect. See, because before they were all saying America's great. Look at them. They're supporting our stupid wars. They're supporting all our stupid causes. They're okay with our tariffs. They're okay with our unequal trading policies. They're okay with all of that. And they're great. We respect them. No, you didn't respect us. You abused us. Now you got Trump in and you're mad, but you respect him. You understand, like, man, we can't play this guy. We can't jab his head up. We can't sit back and say, he's great, y'all send us more. No, that's not working. So yes, we're more respected. We surely want to respect it here.
Next.
Yeah.
You knew it, I knew it, and everybody knew it, but you guys didn't want to write it because you're fake news.
Oh, don't you just love it? Now, if you're the fake news, why would you want to even interview Trump? You know he's going to do that. You come in with your fake newserology, and he's sitting right there going, you're trying to fake news me right here. I'm right here. Usually y'all do that hit piece on your own. Go back to your studio, talk amongst yourselves, have a little group, and you lie about it. You're trying to fake news me to my face. So guess what I'm going to do to you? Because you're fake news. But yet this guy got to continue the interview after being abused.
All right. Thank you. By the way, ABC is one of the worst.
Wait, he's not letting him go. He's like, I got a couple more insults on the way out. By the way, ABC is one of the worst. What else, Trump?
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Hello, yes, police? Yeah, I'd like to report a murder.
Yep, there it is. Boy, I tell you, Trump is the best. When will they learn, man? How about you come in there instead of trying to do a hit piece on him? Why don't you ask legitimate questions? Why can't you recognize his success? Why can't you try to even pretend that you're not there just to, stir up trouble and push a narrative and all of that stuff? But they can't do it, and I have to admire Trump because honestly, he already knows whenever it's one of the fake news networks that's doing an interview, you already know what's coming. It ain't gonna be no objective or subjective, conversations. It ain't gonna be no questions that they go, on one end you did this, on the other end It's not going to be that. He already knows. It's going to be a hostile environment. They're going to be coming in with nothing but lies and disrespect. And I like it like that. Trump enjoys these moments like I did. Anytime I ever got pulled into court to be a witness or anything like that, for some reason, or an job interview, I like those situations. I'm going in like, let's see if you can match wits with me. Come on, ask me a question. Hurry up. I like it like this. You're going to regret calling me as a witness. That's right. Yeah, I enjoy those moments. Trump, he enjoys them. He's like, I'm about to go in there and call you all kind of names throughout this whole interview right to your face and prove to your raggedy audience that you are deceptive and fake news, along with me in Kevin's Corner. That's why I'm here. I do this mostly every day, but we're going to continue. So thanks for your show. Don't stop. Thank you very much, man. Y'all are encouraging. Sometimes it can be discouraging when it comes down to how YouTube have just abused my channel here, but I fight on, I do it because I love it. I think it's right and I believe in it. Move, Nala. Yeah, I believe in it. I believe what we're doing, this movement, this MAGA movement, is important, and I have fun. And as long as I'm having fun and you guys are having fun, we'll keep the party moving. And maybe one day they'll ask YouTube, what are you doing with your algorithms and how are you treating the people? We'll see. Who knows? But until then, we'll carry on. So don't forget, text MAGA to that number right there. Hit the what button? Oh wait, hit the like button on your way out if you haven't, and follow me on all the other social media platforms. I did post on Facebook right before I went live and said, hey, anybody on Facebook that thought that I'm no longer in business, I'm about to go live, so maybe they can check it out too. And if you want to support the channel through my Cash App, PayPal link, you can do that through the links below the video. Other than that, I think we're out of here, man. I should be back tomorrow's Thursday, y'all. Yeah, come back in and expose some more fake news. So God bless y'all. God bless America. Nala, would you calm down? Tear up the place, yeah. Take care.